All right, hey guys, what is up? It is Bibzuda back here once again on the Outlast trials, and this is going to be the second episode of the series I am doing in which I do a bit of a tips and walkthrough video for each trial where I overly explain everything I'm doing and thinking to help people learn how to do better in trials, and mainly focusing on assisting people in going for A pluses in solo. So yeah, that's pretty much my goal with these videos, is to help people out and make it so that they have maybe a better idea of different nuances in certain trials that maybe aren't obvious or you have to figure out after a long time playing. Maybe provide that information to people to help them out. So we are on Cancel the Autopsy here, which is in Program Genesis. Of course, it's been a few days now since the last video I made on Prime Time. So if you missed those, you can check it out. I covered the whole event, including token farming and the item showcase. But now we're just doing this on Program Genesis. And if you missed it, I did a video on the loadout and what you can buy as you level up, because if you're watching this, maybe you're not max level and don't have access to my current loadout, I would recommend checking out my loadout video. And then for the first video in this series, Kill the Snitch, I did it without any amps at all, and that was perfectly doable, and you can farm that for levels if you want, or you can move on continuing with lower level or no amps, and similar results will be accomplished in Program Genesis. But I've decided to just start sticking with my loadout now because I have that original example of Kill the Snitch, and maybe I'll do like challenge runs later where I have no loadout. But for now, we're sticking with this where I've got stun, noise reduction, strong item incognito. This is my standard setup, which I would recommend for most trials, and it will be tweaked in certain situations, which I will of course point out in their respective video. We're going to jump in now to Cancel the Autopsy, and this is a trial that can be completed very quickly for the most part, and the general strategy I usually employ is figuring out the 3 keys by looking at the TVs. Then I go to section A, there's A, B, and C, and I will use the back halls to traverse between the sections rather than coming back to the gymnasium each time. So when you first start out, there's a lot of brick spawns nearby. Of course, as you can probably know, you can look and see where bricks can potentially spawn by seeing that little pile of brick dust on the ground, and that will allow you to know where to check in the future. But yeah, we're just looking around for some initial starting items. I did not want to pick up that bandage. Gooseberry will not be here, although they are a good healing item. Also, often in this original hallway, you can find a poster, and then you come in here and of course hit the button. There can also be a poster in this area, also customary smashing of the window, and that leads us to said poster. So yeah, there's usually a poster in there as well. And yeah, so I will look at the 3 TVs. We have Sector C, where the crown is, B has the eye, and A has the spade. Now coming into Sector A, we want to be a little bit quiet, and I heard a jumper. I believe they will probably be in this locker. Depending on which locker they're in, I will go for that item box, but nope. If they were in the left side locker, I could go for the item box. I think if I go for it, well, you know what I will do? I'll showcase one of the tier 3 prescriptions. You can throw a brick at the locker, and they will come on out and run off somewhere else to annoy you later. But that doesn't even damage my brick, and now I can safely loot. And of course there is, actually I can grab it from over here. Haha, gamed the system. But yeah, now we have a rig recharger, which is very nice, and that can be even used if you don't know. I only figured this out later than I should have probably, but you can destroy these with the stun rig if you have the upgrade, and that did attract our friend. As I mentioned when we first came in here, we do want to be a bit quiet in this area because this area is inhabited by the blind X-Pop, who will come running should you make any noise. Usually he will be over here on the right hand side. He was probably around this area but was still able to hear my stun rig. And now we have him in a pretty decent spot. You can lure him over there with bottles or anything you'd like, or just stay crouched and creep around and he won't really bother you if you don't make too much noise. Lucky for us, we found our 3rd and final poster. And for the most part, the key holding corpses will be in the back area of this section. Of course, watch out for this. This little hole is always here. It's nice to use this to crouch through in case that door is blocked or locked or for any other reason. You can get through there very easily. And now we have another jumper potentially in this locker set here, but this is our key, so that is not ideal. Are they in there? Yeah, they are. I'm going to use the brick technique again. Now this is a tier 3 prescription. I think you would be safe in this case to just grab the key without getting jumped, but it's not guaranteed necessarily. Yeah, no, you would be. You're plenty far away. But yeah, there's our first key, and of course now we want to leave Sector A because we've got the key from it. This should be not loud enough to attract him. But yeah, back here there can also be bodies, like one there maybe. There can also be some behind the cars here a little bit and in between them. That can happen occasionally. And then coming through to this back room, there can also be ones, like there's one, of course. Obviously we know it's not going to be a key we need, but I'm just showcasing a couple of other spots. There's this window that's always here and usable if any of these doors are blocked and you can't get through. And then if you go over there, there's another section, and right here there's another section which possibly has corpses within it for additional key locations. But yeah, usually what I'll do at that point is now I'll come back here and open up this garage, which they recently in the prime time update lowered the noise on the garage door opening action, making it even more safe. But yeah, now these back halls of the area basically connect the sectors, and you can use them to get between them usually without too much trouble. Now we have the pusher coming out, and honestly, I haven't seen the pusher in a while since he was not present in the primetime event. We're going to see which way he goes. Okay, he's coming towards me here. So I'm just going to go into this area, and there we see another key spawn. That is still a Sector A key. And did he walk past? No, he did not. Okay, so he's kind of griefing us right now, but we're still not too worried since he's going pretty slowly. And I could, if I had to, throw a brick, but he's likely not going to go this way. Yeah, and he's going to be instantly heading out. We can check for another rig recharger, and we actually do find one. I figure why not grab it, and here's another potential spawn location. And yeah, I know for some people who are more experienced with the game or aren't looking for tips, this is probably going to be a bit of a more boring video since I'm taking my time very slowly and talking a lot about stuff that you maybe already know. But that's just the vibe of these, and I'll be doing more interesting challenge videos in the future. But you can see here we have this garage thing that lets us even know what the key type is, and it says Sector B, so we are now within Sector B. And we hear someone smashing open doors, and there is the large X pop for this area, and that's who's going to be in Sector B, will be this large X pop. That's who you have to contend with. And we're going to go ahead and not smash that door in and just go a little bit further along to this place. We do have this door which might be blocked and not available, but if it is open, you have this little crawl space always that lets you get into the sector, and in our case avoiding bashing down the wooden door. And then keys can be kind of strewn key corpses can be strewn all about this area for the most part. We did hear a jumper. I'm not sure where they're located. This body on the gurney here could be one. They can be up in these little stair alcoves. This one is probably the most potentially scattered you'll find, but oftentimes it'll be in the back side. Like, it normally won't be up front there. That's why it's nice to stay in the back halls, because you're more close to the locations where the keys will be. And of course we avoided getting spotted there by our large friend. We're going to head through into this area, and this is often where you'll find your key. Probably it can be in the back rooms here somewhere, and there we have it. Yep, so we can grab ours. And yeah, so like I said, pretty much the rooms in each sector that are further from the actual gymnasium are going to be the ones that hold your keys. It could also be up there as well. But yeah, this one mostly contained to these back rooms. And we're just going to head back the way we came in, which was through this little crawl space. As we know, that'll take us back out to the back halls, and we can continue along through here. It's potential it could connect in other locations, like right here. And there's also a door right there that could be open that leads to Sector B. But we just took the surefire route that we knew was available. And then continuing through the back halls, we see that it links up here with Sector C. And we have another poster. There can often be several posters in the back halls here. And we can head through here, or you can open the garage door. It's possible this door will not be open. It'll be blocked off. And if so, you can use the garage door to get back here. And then I like to check through here if this door is open. If it's not, you can go back out this way and through that door. But if this door is open, it's best usually to go through here straight into the shooting range, as there's often corpses in here, as we have one, which is the moon, which is not ours. Screamer there as well. But if that, oh, we got a Pretty generous hint. There can often as well be corpses out in front of the shooting range, but often I will just go straight for that door over there to look in the back areas. And also, important to note, the X-Pop roaming this area is the one that has the claw, the Wolverine-looking guy. As you can see him right there. He's the one that roams around here, and he can be pretty aggressive sometimes. But we got our key, and I'm going to do the rest of the loop around to just show you the other potential spots. So the keys can be out there, and we might run into him here, in all honesty. Since we saw him coming this direction, he might be patrolling on his way over here. Yep, there he is. But yeah, this is a familiar area. Of course, if you've done Sabotage the Lockdown, you're just going to creep out. Your key could be over here in this back area where the generator is in that other trial that I just mentioned. Or you can head through these back little storage rooms, and here's a potential one right there. And other locations back here can also be possible. There's another one, of course. And yeah, for the most part, anywhere in these back rooms. And then as you get closer to the gymnasium, you're less likely to run into any potential key spawns. So maybe there could be one in here, but it's a little bit less likely. So that's what I'll normally do, is I'll do that whole wrap around, and almost always will find my key doing that. And is he right there? I'm not sure where the pusher came out, but then you can wrap all the way around to here, and there is this door that is barred up, and you can open it up, and you are now back in the gymnasium. And for the most part, it's doable with just one stun available. You don't really need a rig recharger here, so what you can do is just, of course, go and use all three of your keys, and then Coil is going to be spawning in through that door right over there. And actually, previously in this trial, there would be a large X-Pop back here, but that person was removed. So what you can do is just pretty much run for it and go hit the button immediately. And guys, if this helped you out, or if you're enjoying the videos, don't forget to absolutely smash the like button like so, and subscribe if you're interested in seeing more. And that can be pretty much it. But if Coil is hounding you, you can go back and forth through this and loop him around here, since he will... Actually, that's a good thing for me to test. Of course, he's way back here. He's clueless. I honestly shouldn't have thrown that, but I'm going to see... this is a live test here. This is the kind of thing I'll do to learn more about trials and get better at them. So we're going to lure Coil to chase us here. And then we're going to see, what does he do when I go through here? So he does come through, but as you can see, he's a bit slow with doing that. So if you are, for whatever reason, in trouble and need to wait out the countdown without any objects to use, you can just continually loop him around here with pretty much no problem, since, again, he is quite slow going through there. Or if you have one stun rig available, that is more than enough to complete the trial. So that will be it for Cancel the Autopsy, A+, 11 minutes, 2 seconds. Very slow. If you're quick, you can, and get good key RNG, you can complete that trial in probably 5 minutes or less. But we got no demerits, which is pretty nice, and that is the trials done badge. Probably my 525th trial right there. But yeah, I hope that helped you guys out, and let me know any feedback you have on this series down in the comments. I hope to do it for each trial in the game and eventually have the full repository of all my tips and accumulated knowledge, as each trial does have those small little tips and tricks that can help you and give you that slight edge, especially in those more difficult variator situations. But yeah, I'll continue doing these in between weeklies and other events and videos. And then, of course, I do also have challenge ideas that maybe I want to do. Like, one of them that I thought of that could maybe be cool is like a glass loadout challenge, so-called, where if you use an amp or a rig and then take any, get hit, take any damage during the trial, that amp breaks, quote unquote, and you can't use it anymore throughout the trial. And maybe I have to, complete Program X and Ultra with that as my restriction, or different things like that. I think it'd be pretty cool to spice things up and bring the, bring some variety to my approaches to different trials, perhaps. Like, maybe some trials there's going to be ones I don't want to bring any amps for because I'm more afraid of getting hit, but then that'll make it even harder. And then, if I die, I fail the challenge, or something like that. I think that could be pretty fun. And then I had other ones. Let me see. Oh, one of them that I think could be fun to just do as like a challenge on maybe even just on a random weekly is if you go to the interface presets here, if you turn on immersive UI, you get no UI elements at all, as far as I understand it. So that would be very, very difficult because you won't have sound indicators. You won't know when someone hears you. You won't be able to see when you're in the dark. You won't have an aiming dot on. You won't. What else? You won't have a stamina gauge. A lot of different things would get removed by that. So having that on for some trials as a challenge could be fun. And then, you know, like obviously doing no loadout at all would be a challenge as well. Of course, no rig. Like removing your rig is a very big difference in terms of how the game plays and how you approach things. So that could be kind of fun to do. Like maybe I'll do a series of Program Ultra without using my rig or no loadout at all. A lot of ideas brewing in the background. So give thoughts on those in the comments and feedback for this series. But yeah, I'm still loving the game. Still going to be making content as much as possible. We do still have about 2 weeks on the prime time event, so I'll be filling that gap with more of these videos, and maybe I'll start up one of those challenge series as well alongside it. I'm not sure, but thanks for watching. Sorry for this long outro, and I'll see you guys in the next video.